Hello, and you're very welcome to the Faithful Podcast channel. My name is Liam White. It's been a while since we have done one of these, anyways, so I'm looking forward to getting into this again. It's been a mental couple of weeks with Midlands 103, with Clubber, with Tullamore Tribune, and everything. So I've not had a proper chance to sort of get myself into the chances to get myself onto doing videos for the Faithful Podcast channel. But we are here now this evening to look back on what was a chaotic weekend of Gaelic games action across the Faithful County. Of course, we had Offaly semi-finals in the Senior A Championship. We had the Senior B final, Intermediate final, Junior Championship semi-finals. We had LGFA finals. We had a whole lot going on over the weekend. So yeah, we'll get straight into it and we'll start diving into the games that took place over the weekend. And my God, what a weekend of Gaelic games that it certainly was. So we're going to first of all look at the game that took place on Saturday evening. It was, of course, the Senior A Hurling Championship semi-final between Kilcormac, Killoughey and Burr. Before we even get into that as well, I want to say big shout out to Seamus Brady, Aaron Prendergast, and Matthew Hurley for Cooling Media. I've left the link to the channel in the description below. Go and have a look below at the channel. Filmed a video last night with Seamus Brady from Killoughey. We delved into the Offaly Championship, the two semi-finals. We also looked at the Dublin Football Championship, the Cork Senior Hurling Championship. We looked at a lot last night. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out and go check out the lads' channels as well on Killoughey, Gaelic Statsman and Gaelic Games Fan TV. Would be much, much appreciated. And shout out as well to Freelance Advertising Ireland for the images here. Great work that they're doing at the moment. So yeah, go check them out. I've left the link to their Instagram below in the description below. So yeah, looking back on this game that took place between Kilcormac Killoughey and Burr. Of course, they finished Kilcormac Killoughey 24 points, Burr 1 goal and 20. It was a thrilling and fiercely contested Offaly Senior Hurling Championship semi-final. Kilcormac Killoughey edged Burr by the narrowest of margins thanks to a superb late winner by Charlie Mitchell, keeping their dream of 3 in a row very much alive. The match was very end-to-end. It was high quality. It was a big battle played with immense intensity and heart. And yeah, Burr, they were underdogs going into the game. They were, like, it's no point saying otherwise, but they really didn't play like a team that was underdogs, really. Like, they produced arguably their best performance in years against one of the strongest teams that emerged from the Offaly Championship in years. A lot of the times probably matching and maybe at times even outworking the champions with relentless effort, turnovers and spirit. KK, though, maybe not playing at their best level. You could probably say that throughout the entire season, maybe, but they showed resilience and composure to basically get themselves over the line in this game. And that is what champions do. That is what winners do. A lot of experience in that Kilcormac Killoughey team that have been there and done that over the years. They never panicked. The crowd might have panicked, but the players never panicked anyways, and they got the job done in the end, which was absolutely crucial for them. Their hunt for 3 in a row stays alive. So what were the key moments in the game? I suppose Burr led early on. They led by 5 points to 2. They had a fantastic start to the game. Colin Mulrooney had a fantastic game early on. He had 3 points in the opening couple of minutes. A 20th minute goal by Alvie Watkins made it 1-9 to 11 points at half time. But Kilcormac Killoughey really fought back strongly in the second half. Their attacking trio of Adam Screeney, Charlie Mitchell and Jack Screeney basically leading the charge. You also had players in Daniel Hand, who chipped in with a couple of scores. James Gorman had a fantastic first half as well, was winning high ball, got a couple of scores on the board as well. Conor Mann had a good first half as well. Colin Spain was very good in the midfield in the first half. There was a lot driving them forward in the first half. The teams traded scores in dramatic fashion in the second half. It was tied at 120 to 23 points deep into injury time. And with seconds remaining, I would think there was about 10 seconds remaining, Charlie Mitchell came up with the winning score after a contested play, securing Kilcormac Killoughey's passage to this year's county final. It was just unbelievable scenes. I still don't know how he managed to get the ball over the bar from the angle that he was at. But when you speak about Burr, first of all, I felt it was disrespectful coming into the game that a lot of people were writing them off to the degree that people were. Burr are a very proud club. They're 22-time winners of the Offaly Championship. They're 8-time winners of the Leinster Championship. 4-time All-Ireland winners. They haven't won the title since 2008, but they are a fantastic side. Fantastic club. Great people in there. And they really put it up to Kilcormac Killoughey. And I knew exactly what was coming here, because Burr are a proud club and they were not going to stand off for anybody. They are desperate to get the Sean Robbins Cup back to their club, and they showed that resilience yesterday on Saturday. They showed great heart and determination, great spirit, great fight. throughout the entire 64 minutes. They were on their feet at the end of the game. They were devastated to have lost the game. And you saw some of the performances of some of the players out there. Conor Maroney had a great game. I thought Shinrone did very, very well at wingback, well experienced, Offaly dual player over the years. You had Luke Nolan, who for me was absolutely outstanding. And he is someone, he was brilliant at underage for Offaly. I've only ever seen him, to the best of my knowledge, play one senior hurling game for Offaly, and it was against Antrim in 2022. And I just think to myself, surely we could give him more games with Offaly. Surely, I think he's good enough to go in with Offaly next year. But we'll just have to wait and see. But I thought he was absolutely sensational for Burr on Saturday. He was absolutely fantastic. His movement, his intelligence with the ball as well is absolutely fantastic. The way he just charges through, it's like a knife through butter half the time with him. Owen Cahill did well as well. Had a big goal chance that was saved just on the edge of halftime by Conor Slevin, which turned out to be a crucial moment in the match. You had Alvy Watkins, who got a goal and a point. He really came alive in the second half as well, was really charging forward for the Burr side. But then you have to remember who did well for Kilcormac. Killoughey. Well, like I mentioned there, Adam Screeney, 8 points in the game, 4 from play. His brother Jack, as a very versatile player, can play wing back, midfield, wing forward, anywhere you want to put him, he will perform for you. And he got 4 points from half forward the other day. A fantastic performance from him again. Another player who should be in with the Offaly panel next year, all going well, and should be starting really for Offaly. To be honest, he's good enough to be starting for Offaly. And not just the weekend, but the whole season so far, he has absolutely proven that. Charlie Mitchell finished again with 5 points, got the winning point in the end, and I still don't know how he got it over the bar from the angle he did, or how he even got the shot off, to be honest with you. So yeah, it was brilliant from them. Jordan Quinn, I thought, had an excellent game at fullback. James Mahon had some really good moments. Enda Grogan was sensational at wingback. Keelan Kiley had a really strong second half as well, really led Kilcormac from the front as well. So yeah, look, there was a lot of really strong performers for Kilcormac on the day. Obviously, look, probably still not playing to their absolute best, and they'll know that going into the final, but this is probably the game that they needed. Much like needing the game against Baldomere in the quarterfinal rather than going straight to a semi-final, they probably needed the game against Burr desperately just to get themselves up to scratch, and they now know the level they need to go to in order to win the county title again, because it's not going to be simple in 2 weeks' time against Shinrone, who we'll get on to in just a moment, but it's going to be a very, very difficult challenge for them in 2 weeks' time. They're going to be right up against it. There are teams that are only aching to take the Sean Robbins Cup away from them and stop them from winning 3 in a row. And it's going to be very, very tricky. But Declan Laffin's done a great job with them so far this year. They've got to the county final. They would much rather have stuff to work on and be in a county final than to have played really, really well and got knocked out. It's as simple as that. So, yeah, Kilcormac into a 4th final in a row, going for a 3rd title in a row. And yeah, look, it was a fantastic game of hurling. Really, really enjoyed it. I think if you're not from Offaly, I'd recommend watching this game. It's a great advertisement for Offaly Club Hurling. It was absolutely fantastic from start to finish. You look at some of the other scores throughout the game. Like I mentioned, O'Cal got 8 points. Watkins got 1-1. Colin Maroney got 4 points. Luke Nolan got 3 points, etc. So a lot of top-class performers all across the pitch from both sets of teams. It would have been a fitting final, to be honest. It was a classic encounter decided by the finest of margins. Burr were brave and disciplined. They nearly toppled the champions, but Kilcormac big game experience and late heroics saw them escape with a victory and a spot once again in the Offaly Senior Hurling Championship final. So very much to look forward to in a couple of weeks' time. And now we got to figure out who their opponents will be. And who will their opponents be? Well, it's going to be this team, Shinrone. Shinrone 4-18, Belmont 22 points in the other semi-final in the Offaly Senior Hurling Championship. This one, not maybe as entertaining, or well, not entertaining, but maybe not as enthralling in a way as the game between Burr and Kilcormac was. Probably a lot more mistakes kind of made in this game than the other one, but still, Shinrone had to get the job done, and they got the job very much done. They booked their place in the county final for the 3rd time in 4 years, of course, won the title in 2022 over Kilcormac. Lost it the following year to the same opponents. Were beaten in the quarterfinals last year by Coolderry. This year, they toppled Coolderry in the quarterfinals after being 10 points down at halftime. And they've come back and beaten the team who they beat in the 2022 semi-finals and the team who beat them in the group stages earlier on this year. So Shinrone have shown excellent resilience over the last couple of years and throughout this season as well. The heartbreak continues for Belmont. You've really got to feel sorry for them at the moment. They've had a fantastic season, really, considering where they were last year in a relegation battle last year, lost all of their championship matches, bar the relegation final against Tullamore. To have come back this year, to have topped their group that included the likes of St. Rynagh's, Kinnity, Kilcormac and Shinrone is nothing short of fantastic. And they did a lot of that without the likes of Oisín Kelly, who only came back for the latter end of the group stage. So yeah, look, it's still been a brilliant season from a Belmont perspective, but again, it's their 6th semi-final defeat since 2017. Like, that's got to hurt them. That's really, really got to hurt them. Like, you have to feel sorry for them, not even to get to a final. It's really, really disheartening, and I do feel sorry for them, to be honest with you. But look, Shinrone, they had to do their thing, and like I mentioned, it wasn't as much of a captivating of a game as the other one was, but it was defined by tough tackles, high intensity, and key moments of clinical finishing. This is where Shinrone really stood out. Their goals proved decisive. They showed their composure in front of the goals. DJ McLaughlin netted twice. Donald Morecambe got a goal. Killian Sampson got the first goal of the game. And like, Belmont matched Shinrone for, in points, they got 22 scores each, but they failed to raise a green flag. And especially when you look at the chance that Eamon Cleary saved from Oisín Kelly in the second half. Look, a lot of people will obviously say he should have gone down low with it, whatever. But even still, in that position, I was expecting Oisín Kelly to fire the ball into the back of the net. But it was a brilliant save by Eamon Cleary. I believe they went down the far and then won a free and put the ball over the bar, and it just completely changed the whole trajectory of the game. At that moment, it felt like it was Shinrone's day, and Belmont were just sort of running out of luck. McLaughlin's goal on the 59th minute was the killer, and he ended the game with 2-3. He led the line very, very impressively. He's been brilliant over the last couple of years for Shinrone. He's really, really stood up over the past 2-3 seasons for this club. And he's going to be vital for them now going into the final. He's going to be someone that Kilcormac are going to have to keep a very, very close eye on. He's big, he's strong, he's well able to strike the ball. Great strike off his left-hand side. They're going to have to be very, very wary of that. They're going to have to be very, very wary of Donald Morecambe as well. And of course, Killian Sampson, who's been a revolution at centre-back this season for Shinrone. He's leading the game, charging the game from the front. He's dictating the play. He's had a brilliant season with Offaly, and now he's having a brilliant season with Shinrone as well. Adrian Cleary, Adam Landy, all had good performances. The full forward line are working really, really well at the moment. O'Bailey O'Brien, as known as Ebob, Paul Cleary. These guys are working their socks off at the moment. And they're going to take a beating in the county final. There's no question about that. Kilcormac are going to be well aware of the challenge that they're going to have in the county final, especially with the fact that they drew with them in the group stages. And Shinrone really were very unlucky not to win that game. So yeah, Shinrone are going to be fired up for this county final, especially after scoring 4 goals in a semi-final. They're going to be right up for this. In terms of Belmont, look, Oisín Kelly got 3 points. David Nally got the majority of their scores. He got 13, missed 1 or 2 frees, which were a bit uncharacteristic of him. Paddy Clancy, I thought, looked really, really good. Got 2 points for his side as well. Ronan McAvoy got 2 points. Ronan Flynn, Adam Egan got scores as well. But yeah, I suppose Belmont were competitive throughout, but they lacked the killer instinct. And that's unfortunate from them, considering the players that they do have, the David Nallys, the Oisín Kellys, the Paddy Clancys, especially just in front of goal. They couldn't convert their chances when they had them. Shinrone's ability to strike goals at crucial times, particularly during Belmont's comeback efforts, it really just gave them the edge, to be honest with you. And the missed chances and the failures to take advantage of key moments ultimately cost Belmont dearly. And it's really, really unfortunate for them that we're once again speaking about them losing a county semi-final, but it's just the way it is, unfortunately, for them. But they'll be back next year. I've no doubt they will be. They've got a good management team there. They've got a great backroom team there as well. And got some good underage hurlers coming through as well in the club. So yeah, look, it's going to be a repeat of the county final in 22 and 23. Looks like it's going to be the best of 3 at this stage between Shinrone and Kilcormac. And yeah, before the start of the season, I suppose a lot of people would have been pinpointing Kilcormac and probably Baldomere as the 2 favourites, but a lot of people were saying, watch out for Shinrone. And absolutely, look what they've gone on to achieve now. They're into the county final. Big comeback against Killoughey. Managed to get a draw with Kilcormac in the group stages. Looked dangerous in the early stages as well. Picked up big win against Ryanus, big win against Kinnity. They managed to come back and beat Belmont the second time around after losing to them in the group stages, which I know a lot of people say the group stages at times doesn't really tell the full story of games, because it doesn't have that same sort of knockout effect that the knockout stage of the championship does have. But still, they had to go and beat them the second time around, and they did. And it's very, very impressive. And it's going to make for a cracking final in a couple of weeks' time. The final's on TG Cahir as well, which is brilliant. It's going to be displayed on TG Cahir at 1 p.m. on the 19th of October. So really, really looking forward to it. And yeah, look, I'm not going to be doing a prediction now or anything like that. Look, a lot of you know that I am a Kilcormac man, so I will be hoping that we will win the final in a couple of weeks' time. But it's going to be a 50-50 final, and that's that. It's going to be an extremely, extremely tough final for Kilcormac. It's going to be an extremely tough final for Shinrone. Both sides are going to go hammer and tongs at it. They've been doing it for the last 2 years, and or last 4 years, I should say. And yeah, it has to make it of a cracking final. So I'm really, really looking forward to what is in store for us in a couple of weeks' time in O'Connor Park. So that is the Senior A Championship wrapped up. We are now going to move ourselves on to the Senior B Championship, and the Senior B champions for 2025 are Lusmagh. Lusmagh 119, Carrigan Riverstown 19 points. Lusmagh are back up to Senior A hurling for the first time since 2017. Fantastic achievement for them. Congratulations to all in Lusmagh. You know, you think of Lusmagh, they're one of Offaly's most storied hurling clubs, returned to the top tier after a thrilling 3-point win over Carrigan Riverstown. The match was so evenly contested throughout, which is what we all expected. It was going to come down to just a score between the teams. That's exactly what happened. Lusmagh edged ahead in the final minutes thanks to strong scoring in the second half and a standout display by man the match, who was Paul Kinsella. He was absolutely sensational in this game, and he's been brilliant for Lusmagh all season long. Darren Healy, Rory Kelly, Evan Kelly, these types of players have been absolutely terrific for Lusmagh all throughout the season. Paul Kinsella scored 110 in this match. He got 5 from play, 1-5 I believe from play. Carrigan Riverstown, they led for much of the first half. They looked strong. They composed themselves early on after a slow start, especially through Cathal King and Willie Gleeson. However, a late goal and point by Lusmagh just before half-time tied the game at 1-7 to 10 points, and it completely shifted the momentum. In the second half, Lusmagh outscored their opponents by 12 points to 9. Carrigan Riverstown, they mounted several comebacks in this game. Lusmagh's experience and scoring power, especially from the likes of Kinsella, from Darren Healy, who got 4 points, and others as well, proved decisive. And despite a late goal chance for Carrigan Riverstown, they were denied in such dramatic fashion, and the day was made even more special in a way for Lusmagh by the presence of Joachim Kelly, of course, celebrating with the team after his recent health struggles. So at least he'll be able to celebrate that, as will all the Lusmagh crowd this evening. Willie Gleeson finished the game with 9 points. Cathal King and Mark O'Brien, I believe, got 4 points for Carrigan Riverstown as well. So there were some strong performances from their perspectives, but yeah, overall, a memorable final. It was full of heart, it was full of drama and quality hurling all around. Lusmagh earned a well-deserved promotion in this game, and yeah, it's fantastic to see for them to be back up at Senior A hurling next year. They're a proud club. They're not the biggest of areas. They're a small enough area. I believe they don't have a lot of like teachers in their national school or a lot of students in their national school, but they're a club full of heart and determination, and it's brilliant to see them back in Senior A hurling next year. Very much looking forward to seeing how they get on as well, and seeing the likes of Rory Kelly and Evan Kelly, these Offaly senior hurlers, back playing in Senior A hurling next year for their clubs. It's fantastic to see, and them representing their clubs. And of course, they'll now go into the Intermediate Championship as well in the Leinster Championship, which I'm sure they're very much looking forward to. Maybe not for the next few days anyway. They'll probably enjoy themselves tonight and tomorrow and for the next few weeks anyway. But yeah, look, congratulations to them. Commiserations to Carrigan Riverstown. They put up a huge battle. They've been fantastic all season themselves, and I've no doubt that they'll be ones to watch next year in terms of promotion. You know, they got close last year, knocked out in the semi-finals. Knocked down the final this year. I know Sir Kieran are coming down to Senior A next year, but it won't be simple for them. This Carrigan Riverstown team have some very, very good players across their team. The likes of Gleeson, the likes of O'Brien, the likes of Cathal King, the likes of Caleb Larkin, Liam Hoare. They have some solid players all across their team. And yeah, look, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with next year in the Senior B Championship. I no doubt about it. But for the time being, Lusmagh are the Senior B hurling champions for 2025. Congratulations to them. And we will see them in the Senior A Championship for next season. So I suppose, yep, that's the senior games wrapped up. We're now going to turn our attention and our focus to the intermediate final, which took place between Drumcullen and Burr. This finished 16 points to 113, a draw in the end, and a replay is going to be needed. A substitute's goal by Cathal Kerwin in the last minute forced a replay, and like Drumcullen led for nearly the entire match, and they seemed destined for victory when they went 3 points up deep into stoppage time. However, a last-ditch high ball into the square. You'd love to see it, don't you? But yeah, Drumcullen led by 5 points on 3 separate occasions. They controlled most of the first half. Burr struggled early on, but battled back, especially in the second half, missing a crucial penalty and hitting the post before finally leveling with a late goal. Colin Gatt was man the match. He scored 6 points, 4 from play for Drumcullen. Cathal Kerwin scored 1-3, including the match-saving goal off the bench. He might have warranted now a start for the next day potentially now. Cian Nolan did well for Burr. Owen Gatt was solid for Drumcullen. And look, the match was tense and it was physical, and it played before a big crowd in Banagher as well. It was great to see a big crowd in Banagher, especially for Borough after losing the senior semi-final the day before. To see the big crowd going out to support their intermediates was fantastic to see. And look, it's unfortunate from Drumcullen's perspective. They're desperate to get back up to senior hurling next year. I know they've had a tough couple of years anyways. They had a tough year in senior A hurling in 2021, and it's not been an easy couple of years for the club. But look, it'd be great to see them back up, but obviously this will hurt them badly knowing that they have to go play a replay against Burr. But look, they should, in my opinion, still have enough to go out and win the next day, but you just never know. They'll have to meet again, and you could probably expect another really tough encounter, really close encounter the next day. So very much looking forward to seeing how that transpires. So we're going to look now, before we go into the LGFA, we'll just run through some of the results that took place over the weekend as well, across some of the underage championships and across the Offaly Championships as well. So we'll start off by congratulating, first of all, to Brosna Gales and Tullamore. They are both into the final of the Junior A hurling championship. I was at the game between Tullamore and Ballyscannach Killoughey on Saturday. Tullamore deserved to win it. Wasn't the best game of hurling in the world, but obviously we had Storm Amy at the weekend, so that probably kind of played a bit of a factor. But yeah, look, overall, Tullamore, they were the better side over the 60 minutes. They deserved the win in the end. And look, it's an unfortunate defeat for Ballyscannach Killoughey. I know they'll be desperate to get themselves up to intermediate championship next year. But it's a fantastic win for Tullamore. And for Brosna Gales, 217 to 113 over Edenderry. Kind of comfortable enough victory in the end. There was never really kind of any doubt that they were going to win that game. Brosna Gales have been the strongest side in junior over the last couple of years, and they'd been very disappointed not to have won the championship last year. So for them now to be back in the Junior A final, you'd make them favourites against Tullamore, but you just never know. Tullamore have a strong defence, and the game being played in O'Connor Park, potentially, you just never know what could happen. So yeah, congratulations to those teams. Congratulations to the under 14 Kilcormac hurlers, who defeated Ballinamere Doro by 3 goals and 9 points to 1 goal and 10 in the under 14 hurling final, which took place on Saturday morning. Some of the other results that took place over the weekend as well. In the Minor A Football Championship, you had for Bad Belmont 2-6, St. Mansions 1-7, and Road 2-11, Tullamore 10 points. So it'll be for Bad Belmont against Road in the Minor A Football Championship final in a couple of weeks' time. So congratulations to those teams there. In the Minor B Football Championship, St. Brahins 9 points, Shamrocks 3 goals and 8, and it finished Clara 1-14, Ballinamere Doro 4 points. So it'll be Shamrocks against Clara in the Senior B, Minor B football final in a couple of weeks' time as well. So we're going to now look back really at the LGFA finals that took place over the weekend, and we're going to start with the senior final. Ballinamere Doro 3-8, Nave Kieran 1 goal and 8. It's Ballinamere Doro's first ever Offaly senior ladies football title. Big congratulations to them, defeating the reigning champions Nave Kieran by 6 points in a historic and deserved win at the Faithful Fields on Saturday. They lost to Niv Kieran last year, but they turned the tables. They had a composed clinical performance. They were, despite conceding an early goal, they led 1-6 to 1-3 at half time. Nave Kieran cut the lead to 1 in the second half, but it was the performances of the likes of Sarah Doyle, who finished with 1-5 from play. Teresa Bracken, Jane Maher, Roisin Milov, Una O'Brien, big performances for Ballinamere Doro at the weekend to get themselves over the line, despite Lucy Flynn scoring 1-4 and good performance as well from Emma Cahill, Lauren Kelly, etc. It wasn't enough for Nave Kieran. And yeah, Ballinamere Doro will now advance to represent Offaly in the Leinster Club Championship, which is fantastic for them. So the best of luck to them with that. And yeah, it's an unfortunate end for Nave Kieran. They've been absolutely sensational champions in the Offaly Championship. They've won 9 of the last 10 championships, which is absolutely crazy, to be honest with you. And that includes the last 3 in a row as well. So they were going for 4 in a row, and Ballinamere just simply said, no, not happening. And the defence of Ballinamere needs to be credited massively. Nave Kieran didn't score for 17 minutes in that game. 17 minutes, and they needed goals desperately in that game. So great credit to the Ballinamere defence, especially on a day like Storm Amy when anything could happen, especially with the way you're kicking the ball and it could be flowing all over the place, etc. It's brilliant for them to get themselves over the line. So congratulations to Ballinamere Doro, LGFA champions in Offaly for 2025 for the very first time. And we're going to wrap up with the Offaly ladies intermediate final. Road produced a dominant second half performance to overcome St. Manchins and claim the Offaly intermediate title, bouncing back from last year's final defeat. They trailed by a point at halftime, but Road blitzed their opponents after the break. They scored 2-6 without replying in the opening 18 minutes of the second half to seize control and lift the Paul Jordan Cup. A back and forth contest. St. Manchins Road hit 2-3 in 8 minutes, but St. Manchins responded with 1-4 unanswered to lead 1-8 to 2-4 at the break. Road levelled within a minute and scored their third goal seconds later. They added a fourth goal 6 minutes later to go 11 points clear by the 48 minutes. St. Manchins rallied late with 1-2, but it wasn't enough to close the gap. Appy Stafford was the player of the match, scoring 2-1 and was instrumental in the second half performance. Kerry Kellahan scored 5 points as well. Quiva Leinen was outstanding. She scored 2-7 in this game, but it just wasn't enough to get her side over the line, unfortunately, for her. Anne-Marie McCormack had a solid game at the back as well. So overall, it was Road's kind of fitness and tactics and use of possession after the break, which provided the decisive moments. And they now move up to the senior grade in 2026, while Manchester will look to regroup and come back stronger next year. So congratulations to Road, intermediate LGFA champions for 2025. So yeah, that's kind of it, really. That's all the championship action from the weekend across the Offaly circles in Gaelic games. Felt good to be back talking about Offaly GAA just for a couple of minutes anyways. And yeah, look, it's a busy couple of weeks ahead. Of course, we do have some minor hurling finals coming up this weekend. We have the Offaly Senior Football Championship semi-finals coming up this weekend as well. So be very, very interesting to see how those games transpire this weekend. I'm going to try and get a preview out for the semi-finals this weekend, maybe by Thursday, maybe Friday, whenever I can. So stay tuned for that. Anyways, very much looking forward to the games at the weekend. And yeah, what a cracking weekend we had. We have a cracking hurling final to look forward to in a couple of weeks' time. Congratulations to Lusmagh, to Ballymere Doro, to Road, and yeah, Drumcullen Burr as well. Looking forward to that soon as well in a replay. So yeah, thanks a million for tuning in. It's been a while since we did one of these videos anyways, but I appreciate anyone who has logged on, or if anyone has, I don't know, but if you have, then thanks very much. We'll hopefully be back again soon with another podcast. Anyways, to look forward to it. Thanks a million to anyone who has watched. Make sure to check out Cooleen Media while you're at it as well, and check out the individual channels for the boys as well on Killoughey, Gaelic Statsman, and Gaelic Games Fan TV for Seamus Brady, Matthew Hurley, and Aaron Prendergast. And big shout out once again to Freelance Advertising Ireland. I've left his Instagram link in the description below, so you can go out and check that there. So thanks a million for watching. Thanks for watching the Faithful Podcast. I'll be chatting to you again very soon.